Hi, y'all. Luke Hatmaker here, host of the Daily Grind with your post-game bounce. The Grizzlies won this evening against the San Antonio Spurs, 128-109. And before we get into the game, the nitty-gritty of the game, I do want to say our thoughts and prayers for everybody here at Bluff City Media to the gentleman who collapsed courtside before the game. Shout out to the medical staff and the EMTs who were on the scene and made sure that guy was okay. You know, it's scary. At the end of the day, we got to remember this is just basketball. It's just a game, and that kind of stuff that's, you know, just got to remember what's important. But back to the game. The Grizzlies won 128-109, which marks the third time they've beat the Spurs this calendar year, which is great news. The way that I want to talk about this game is I'm going to break it up into three parts for you. The starters, the young guys, and the Adios, Amigos is what we're going to call them. I'll think of a better name. But the two starters I want to talk about, 12 and 13, y'all. 12 and 13. Ja Morant was back after missing a couple games, and 12 felt locked in tonight. He finished with 25 points and 11 assists, got that double-double, and this Ja was locked in the entire time. I don't want to say the Ja is a complainer, but he can't complain to the refs. He's known to do that. And there was none of that happening tonight. This Ja seemed ready to hoop. I don't know. It seemed like maybe whatever was going on with him, the two games off did him some good. He looked locked in and ready to help lead this team. The other guy we got to talk about in the starters is Jaren Jackson Jr. Again, he proves to just be the best player on this team at times, ? He's just, again, this is back-to-back 30-point games from Tripp on a back-to-back. That's impressive. He had 31 tonight, and that's to go with 3 assists and 6 boards. And this type of Jaren, we've never seen Jaren play like this. This is the most emotional and the most just rowdy, I want to say, I've ever seen Tripp. And this kind of Tripp is just the best version of Tripp that we've seen. He's playing at an all-NBA level. We've seen the all-star accolades come. Next, if you're asking me, gun to my head, he's going to be an all-NBA player. He needs to be an all-NBA player. I want to talk about the young guys, too. Zach Edey started this game. I was worried. This was not going to be a good matchup for him. And to be honest, he started a little slow, but second half of the game, man, and honestly, from the second quarter on, and it should be said, the Grizzlies, I would say, won this game in the second quarter. They went on a 19-0 run that San Antonio just did not have an answer for. It was beautiful to behold. Like Zach Edey's, 7th, I believe? Let me double check. 7th double-double on the season with 16 points and 14 boards. You know, he got really just way more comfortable with this whole Wemby situation as the game went on. Really great to see that out of him. But the young gun who was the highlight of tonight was GG Jackson, who was just straight up hooping out there tonight. Best game he's had since returning from injury. He had 27 points, 27, and that's to go with 5 assists and 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 3 steals. And this is another, remember, back-to-back here. He had that block of Giannis last night, which just showed off his pure athleticism. And tonight, going for 27 points, and we've been worried, I have been worried about if his shot was going to fall. That seems to have been what was missing in these early games of him coming back. The athleticism was there. The hustle was there. The shot just wasn't falling. The shot was falling tonight, and he proved just how dangerous he can be. You know, we all are out there worrying if the Grizzlies are going to make a trade. Brevin even touched on it last night. He said, who needs to make a trade when you've got GG Jackson on your bench? I still would like to see a consolidation trade. More on that here in a second. But GG said after he was in the post-game interview with Rob, he said, with Fish, he said, you know, Dez just told me to keep shooting. And you know what? He needed to do it. And if the shot's going to fall like it did tonight, good luck, y'all. Good luck, because if you got GG Jackson coming off your bench or hashtag start GG at the 3, depending on what happens, like this version of GG Jackson, teams aren't going to have an answer for. You know, with GG 27 points, Ja 25, Tripp 31 and Jaron and Edie 16. If that's 4, you're starting 5. That's awesome, y'all. That's really good. Let's talk about some guys that were on the fringes tonight, because I did mention a consolidation trade. There were a couple guys that played tonight that got significant minutes that might be auditioning for their next team. I don't want to say, I don't know, but a lot of names have been floating around of maybe we could trade these guys off for somebody else. We've got Jake LaRavia and John Conchar. Look, if they've only got a couple games left with the Grizzlies to show what they can do, this was a good night for both of them, because Jitty had 2 points to go with 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Not bad considering the minutes he played. But Jake LaRavia, let's talk about Jake. He had 6 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 steals. And he had a dunk. Like, I'm not saying we should keep either of these guys. I'm just saying, if this is an audition tape, they're doing a hell of a job. Great game all around, y'all. I was pretty stoked. 19-0 run. That's what you want to see. The great teams, they go on these runs and they're able to keep the lead with these runs. And that's what the Grizzlies did tonight against the Spurs. Glad to have 12 back. Glad to see Tripp still going. Glad to see Gigi's shot falling. Edie continuing to be dominant. I don't know. I'm a happy camper after that game. And again, thoughts and prayers to the gentleman who collapsed at the beginning of the game. We want to make sure he's okay. Yeah. Go Grizz. Grizz will be playing again on Wednesday, so they got a day off, and then they will be going to Toronto. So tune into that, and yeah, go Grizz. See you next time, guys.